Gracious. All right, don't go around. Don't go around. Okay, maybe do go around. Fine.
Oh, woo!
I'm telling you, this is a bad idea. Okay, you died.
Hello, Dominic.
Oh. Is that the cue?
Yes, it is
The cue.
9 p.m. on the dot.
It's 9 p.m. on the dot.
I haven't been
difficulties are
troubleshooting
resolved.
for half an hour.
Yes, you have. Don't lie to them. They deserve better.
They don't need to know.
Okay.
Welcome to episode 6 of JaDS, where Joe and Dom speak about things. How are you doing, Dominic?
I'm doing good. The weather is going in, and the 206 internal barometers in my body, called bones, are screaming at me. So, this is a fun fact. I'm a more reliable predictor of weather than the weatherman.
Yeah.
This is I'll be honest, I'm going through it right now. But
Okay, Dominic. All right. Well,
I'm a little tired, so I'm kind of running on fumes today. But you know what? I'm not gonna miss a JaDS day.
well, there's nothing else more relaxing than listening to me for an hour.
Yes.
So
And me as well. And nothing more better than what's going to happen after the intermission today.
okay.
You have to watch to there.
Yeah, you
Cannot
do.
skip
You
forward.
really do.
Yeah, you
So
shouldn't.
let's go ahead and get started with
Okay.
quick news in the world, as it obligated with something that is regular, like a podcast.
JaDS is on Spotify.
Yes, we are on Spotify. Only episode 1 is currently on Spotify. I'm working on it. Don't worry about it.
Okay,
But yes,
we're
we
good.
are technically on Spotify. You can begin binging and then harass me to get the rest of the episodes online if you really want. We'll see what happens. Check the description for what's going on with that when this video is uploaded. But so current events. Since episode 5, a couple things. One, Ukraine is under invasion.
Yeah, this is
You gotta say something about it. Not that we have anything to offer on the matter, but
yeah,
you know, war is bad.
more bad.
Ukraine is sad, and Russia is mad.
And President Zelensky is rad.
Yeah, it's a little bit nice to see, like, discourse about global affairs, just so that I know that I'm not the only one who occasionally notice things outside of my sphere of influence. But
right.
like, it's also kind of, I am less than 20 years old. My knowledge of global affairs is pathetic. I did not know how many wars we were currently engaged in as the United States. Somebody was like, gee, we're at 3 again. I was like, 3? And then I went on Wikipedia and like educated myself to like a mild degree. I was like, oh, okay, I see how things are going. But yeah, if we had a large audience right now, I would have gone through the trouble of including a donation link to a charitable cause in Ukraine at the bottom of the video description. But I don't think we have a sizable enough audience to make a difference.
Yeah.
If but yeah, there's a lot of like some of it's funny, some of it's not, some of it's misinformation, some of it's not on the internet going about it. Some of it is both misinformation and very funny. There was that clip that went viral a little bit ago of like the Russian ghost pilot, and there was like footage of the Russian ghost pilot, and it was actually just like footage from like a video game, which I thought it was absolutely hysterical. But yeah, so there's Ukraine. I have nothing more to say about Ukraine. Do you have anything more to say about Ukraine?
I have nothing more to say about Ukraine, because I don't want to say something and then it ages poorly.
Right.
All I know is that I kind of call this in 2020. I mean, this has been conflict that's been boiling for a long time, apparently. Yeah. But I was like, oh man, I better get out of here before World War III breaks out. And then too late.
International viewers, consider this your advertisement to join NATO if possible.
Yeah.
um,
Specifically, not just international viewers, but viewers who are leaders of international governments, I guess, is
yes,
what that's
yes,
what it's
yes.
targeted towards. I find it very comical that well, right now we're very small, right? We're a very small podcast,
Oh, I
and I
thought you
think
were referring to our height.
well, that is true as well. Joe and I are the same size person, and we clock in at just about 5'7" if we're generous.
Yeah.
And um, no, I think it's because we're a small channel, so a lot of this is really just like we're posting these videos for our own sake because it's funny,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's fun to do,
Yeah.
and there's something that feels, especially like with the way this episode feels and the way last episode feels, well, these almost feel not like vlogs, but like in the sense that like, oh, I'm gonna talk about my day. Like in the sense that we are sitting down and recording a video and it is a log of things that are going on at the time. And
Yeah, it's timely, whatever, there's a better
it's
word.
it's both timely and quite personal because I think we're both very unrestricted in the things that we talk about on this show.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um
honestly, the things that we choose to talk about while governed by the vague idea of the topics where we find passionate and the idea that we can talk about anything and that we want to cater to what the viewers want us to talk about. Honestly, what
mhm.
we end up talking about is dictated by a higher power and is partially out of our hands.
Yeah.
As is the entirety of our conversations, which is why we're here. Um
Mm.
What else is going on in the world? Timely. What's news and exciting?
What else exciting I don't know about. Well, I mean anything can be exciting if you look at it from the right angle. But
I have something
current
that's
events.
exciting.
Okay,
The
go
Risk
say
of
I'm gonna
Rain
Google.
DLC dropped today. The Risk
Oh,
of Rain 2 DLC, The Voidlands. If you play Risk of Rain 2 and you like Risk of Rain, you don't need me. You don't need my opinion. You already own it. You've already played it. You're already in the void fields as we speak. If you're watching this while
okay.
playing Risk of Rain 2, I'll give the video a like. Thank you. Um,
Yes.
yeah, that dropped. I like literally pushed off all of the work I was supposed to do today, just so that I could like experience it timely.
Mhm.
I don't get the opportunity to like wait for like a gaming related thing to drop, and it happens,
Mhm.
and then I just like sit down and ingest it at the same time as the rest of the world does. So that's always cool. I enjoyed that.
Neato.
Yeah.
Elden Ring also came out. That
Mm.
was a landmark thing that
Yes, Elden
happened.
Ring came out. Important. If you're playing on the PS5, I don't know if it's patched yet. There is a bug that makes autosave not work. There have been many
Oh.
horror stories.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no, I can
Yeah,
only
really.
imagine.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I didn't get too far in the game.
You own
Uh
an Elden Ring?
I own Elden
Oh,
Ring. I
I
played
had
it
no idea. How
a
is it?
little bit. It's pretty good. I didn't get far. This is my first like Souls-like game that isn't Code Vein because a
Okay.
lot of people don't count Code Vein because it's quite easy.
Mm-hmm.
At least in comparison to like Dark Souls and the actual Souls genre. So
Mm-hmm.
it's um definitely a learning curve.
Okay.
Um, I'm not playing it super actively because I don't super actively
Play
play
video
games.
games anymore.
Um,
Nerd.
yeah.
I'm just
It's
curious.
so
Not that we need to
dry.
have a whole, not that we need to have a whole segment about it, but what is the
Yeah.
draw? The drawer. What is the drawer? What is the draw of Elden Ring? Like, what's the hook? I know that it's like vaguely a Souls like, and I see that it
It
plays
is a
similar to things.
Souls-like.
Is it like an open world Souls like? Is that the idea?
I don't know if I got far enough to tell, but yeah, I think it's like more open world,
Because like I've
and it's
only
just
seen
very
like
polished.
graphics of like the polished of the graphics and stuff, and I'm like, I have no idea what genre of game this is. I don't. It's
Mhm.
just Elden Ring, and it's supposed to speak for itself. And I was it's not speaking to me, so I had no idea. You know, I was not
Yeah, I
like
mean,
automatically in the audience, so I wasn't in the know. But it looks
yeah,
like people are enjoying it.
yeah. I mean, it's cool. It's fun.
Yeah.
Though. like in terms of what games I've been playing recently,
Hmm.
in like the recent year, I've found that games that are short and replayable, not in terms of like story content that's replayable, but like arcade style games almost,
Hmm.
really cater well to me because they're efficient for my like I can't play Minecraft anymore.
Yeah,
It takes
yeah.
such a time sink to try and play Minecraft.
Yeah, session.
Um,
That's actually for me. Roguelikes fill a similar niche because they're
yeah,
run
roguelikes are
based.
good.
They're just like
Um,
slightly longer arcade. Like if you succeed, it takes a little bit longer, but usually, being most of the time, if you're failing,
mhm,
it's like 10 minutes an attempt.
yeah.
I played FTL for the first time in a while during one of my lectures the other day,
Mhm.
and first run in a long time. I know that I've talked about FTL on this podcast before, but as a refresher, it is a really hard roguelike. And my first attempts, I got like literally up to the final boss and like almost beat the game. And like even
Oh
though
my
I
god.
didn't beat the game, I still set a high score, which like I did crazy well and I got ridiculous luck and it was really nuts. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's always fun. It's
the
always fun.
game that I have been playing a little bit on and off, more so like kind of because I do this with everything, studying its meta, by watching people online who were good at the game play it, is get ready for it. Bloons TD Battles 2.
Whoa!
Yeah, I didn't even know they had a 2, but they do. And
Wait, it's coming out. I didn't. All I heard was BTD2, and I wasn't paying attention to anything else you said.
oh no, I've been playing the game and studying
Okay.
its meta.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty good. I definitely prefer it to the first
You
one.
can play it in browser,
Um,
right?
no, it's on Steam.
Oh, it's on Steam.
It's on Steam, yeah.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, I know. You know what else is on Steam that I've been playing?
Yeah.
For those of you who I guess are born in my generation would probably remember it existed. My Singing Monsters is on Steam.
I. All right. Let's not talk about all the silly games that are actually available
Yeah.
on Steam right now.
No, I say that because I'm playing it as well.
Yeah. All right. So
Uh,
you got.
that and Super Auto Pets been sinking my time into.
All
You
right.
know what is getting an update soon?
What?
Um,
What?
Until You Fall.
I saw.
The
They're getting a
two-handed
two-handed
weapon
weapon.
update.
Until You Fall
That's
is a
very
VR like
exciting.
combat roguelike.
It's a
It's
VR
not everybody's
roguelike.
favorite, but
Mm,
I like it a lot.
I
I
like
don't
Until You
play it
Fall.
often, but like, it's
Mhm.
always fun when I show it off to somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I wonder how they're going to implement that. The challenges around certain things in like VR-based games are very unique. Like, for example, you wouldn't think it, but like if you're making a game for VR, which is controlled by controllers, and you want the player to like have a dual-handed weapon, how the physics of that are going to interact and how, because like, when you're not physically holding something, you can just go like that and move your hands apart. And
Yeah.
obviously you can't do that. You would snap the weapon in half or whatever. So
You know,
how they handle it is going to be interesting. But I like I have high expectations. Well, high hopes, low expectations. But high
yeah.
hopes for how they can figure out how to handle it.
I think that's just like a problem with VR games in general,
Hmm.
and it's not something that can easily be solved. But I will point out an interesting case where this came in the way. So I don't think I've mentioned it in the podcast, but I'm like very like sort of I don't have a word like a some form of adjective to put to how much I'm into it, but I'm into HEMA, historical European martial arts. I
Dominic,
don't have any.
what is HEMA?
HEMA is sword fighting, put
Okay.
in very simple words. That
I interrupted
doesn't
you
do it
as you were going
justice.
to explain what the acronym was, but
Yeah. Um,
it's historical European martial arts,
yeah.
HEMA.
So
So
basically
sword
sword
fighting,
fighting, it
right?
encompasses more than that.
Hmm.
The emphasis being not only on just swinging around a sword, but also like the historical and accurate interpretation of how people fought with swords in the past.
So like
And
loosely, as like kung fu is to taekwondo, HEMA could be to fencing or something.
well, it's involved in fencing because there's things like longsword fencing, which is actually a HEMA thing.
Yeah, well, maybe
Um,
even you could say that fencing is just like a really hyper focused subcategory of HEMA. I
I
guess.
wouldn't call it focused. I would say it's just a broad category of HEMA actually, because a lot of HEMA is
Okay.
just training and then sparring with people in
Okay.
like a local like a HEMA
So this is
gym or
something that you
the
want to.
equivalent of a dojo.
So this is
So
something
this
you
is
want to
something that
do, or you are doing.
I'll explain the story, right? Because I brought
Okay.
this up because of VR controls being weird.
Mhm.
And like I said before with TD battles,
Yes,
I have
as it
this habit of
relates.
every single game that I approach, I can't help but like, okay, see what people who are good at the game are doing. How do I get good at the game? What things do I need to learn to practice to be good at the game? Because I'm like very inherently competitive, even when there are no other players.
Yes, as
Um,
those aged over 15 and often do, you are morally inclined to bake the fun out of every single gaming experience.
yeah, well, I thought you were gonna follow it up with, oh, yeah, once you hit 15, everything is competition. When I look at a lot of the mods for Blade and Sorcery, I don't see that. I see a lot of people looking for a power trip. That's not how I handle Blade and Sorcery. I like open up Blade and Sorcery. I'm like, okay, what are like the sword fighting stances? How do I like what's a guard? How do I swap between them? How do I do
Hmm.
edge alignment in VR?
Hmm.
And a lot of the conclusions to this have been limitations by hardware and technology. Like for example, physics sometimes isn't tracked fast enough. Like not enough calculations happening in a second for swords to accurately swing, or like I'll like make a really fast cut and like the
Hmm.
sword will just like not actually cut. It'll just like and like kind of
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could
leg
see that.
through.
Yeah.
But the big one was actually like two-handed weapons because like, well, I'll go grab my touch controllers to show those of you who have video the dilemma. So I have an Oculus, right?
Hmm.
Um, the geometry of the Oculus touch controller is such that there's really only one way you can hold it. Where you would have like, you know, like an actual like weapon or some sort of pole that you would grab onto. You'd have like this kind of maybe loose grip,
Hmm.
and you can like move your hand around and such like this, right? That's something you can do. Just due to the way the touch controller is, you really can't like open up your hand to do this that well with. Like this is really clumsy. I feel like this would fall right out of my hand if I tried to do it, as opposed to that would be pretty normal to do on like if I had like an actual like hilt of a sword. So the issue comes into when there are things like a high guard and you need to have your hands above your head like this, and like the sword would point kind of down and out, and you can't do that with the touch controllers
Yeah.
because you can't hold the controller straight but have your hand be tilting down.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's all, I mean, it's all, you could probably infer, with your mind, like,
Yeah.
it's not going to
But
work.
so TLDR tried to get into HEMA because I wanted to get better at Blade and Sorcery, and was met with technical limitations and hardware limitations and
Of
physical
course.
geometrical limitations that prevent me from holding the controllers in such a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, as you talk about that, it makes me think about the projects that
Mm,
we work on and how we can't
mm.
help but as soon as we come up with an idea, immediately brainstorm for like 10 to 15 to 400 minutes about
Yeah.
how it would affect the yet to exist meta of the like
Yeah.
hardcore competitive user base of the game that doesn't exist yet, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think just going back onto like VR game physics in general, I
Mhm.
love how when you get into a physics-based VR game, like Boneworks or Blade and Sorcery, I call it the Boneworks jump, even though I haven't actually really played Boneworks aside from at like friends' houses.
Mhm.
Um, Being basically like you have like super strength in Boneworks, and
Mhm.
like let's say there was a ledge here, I could just wonk and like I'll go up like really far. You do like I call it the Boneworks jump. You just jump extremely high,
Mhm.
and like you have such tremendous like pectoral strength and shoulder strength that you
Mhm.
can really do anything. And I remember like one of the first things like, well, how do I do what silly things should I get up to Blade and Sorcery? And it boiled down to taking a giant pike and using it like a pogo stick. And that's
Yeah.
just something that you can do, and then like stick it in the ground and be like weird kung fu master. Uh
I could see it. I could see you
yeah.
riding a pike, riding a stick around because you
Yeah.
have infinite strength in a VR simulation.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's always
You could bounce really damn high with a pike.
yeah. I mean, because the thing is, if you want, there are always sacrifices, right? You know, if you want to be accurate to
Yeah.
the simulation, let the player make any movement. Well, then when the player
Mhm.
makes a movement that in your
Mhm.
simulation would require like however many tons of pushing force, if
Yeah.
you want them, you can't prevent them from moving in real life. So they're like, all right, you're just infinitely strong, and you gotta like build the game around those limitations. But it's always
Yeah.
yeah, it's really
There's
funny though.
also, the issue of, like,
Uh,
play space boundaries and, like, where you are in the game versus where you are standing in real life,
mhm.
and like, you could like, in a competitive shooter, let's say,
Yeah.
like, I could be here in the game with my back up to the wall, and then in my play space, I move backwards and I'm inside of the wall,
Hmm.
and it's very hard to prevent that. It's also really easy to do it accidentally. I remember once I was checking my Guardian while I was playing Blade and Sorcery, and I like stepped back. This was a critical mistake because I had my back to a wall and then I fell through the world. And every time I get far enough in a dungeon's run to almost complete it, something like that happens. Right, I fall out of the world, my headset dies, yada yada.
Mhm.
Um, Such is my curse. I have not beat a difficulty 3 length 3 Blade and Sorcery dungeons run yet.
Yeah. Well, not that we're past we've already run past the intro bit where we just mentioned timely events, but it's also
Yeah.
worth mentioning you see the Steam decks have started shipping.
Steam Decks.
Yeah, the
Very good.
Valve released a little video of Gabe hand delivering some Steam decks to people early, which
Oh
was
my
really
god.
funny because like some of them were like, "Whoa."
Yeah, I would. You what the fuck?
And then there were other people, which I find more funny. For context, if you don't know, Gabe Newell is like the CEO and founder of Steam,
Yeah.
the game. If you don't know what Steam is, look it up. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
uh yeah, so like Gabe was hand delivering some of these Steam decks to people, and what I find funnier is there were a few, like some of the clips were of like either like somebody's sister or mom or whatever like accepting some
Oh.
Steam decks for people because they weren't home or whatever. But
Mhm.
it's funny because there's just like a couple of clips of like people who just, oh yeah, cool, thanks, and like definitely did not know that it was Gabe. It was like either did not know it was Gabe or did not know that Gabe was a significant person. I just like accepted their delivery being filmed on camera as like
You
a normal
have
like,
to
all
be
right, cool,
a little
thanks.
suspicious
Yeah. I
at
mean,
the
I'm sure they
presence of the
would.
cameras there, 'cause there would have had to been a cameraman, or else
But
the
like,
clips
could you
wouldn't have
imagine
existed.
like I'm not saying this happened because you know I'm not like I don't know what happened, but like imagine
Mhm.
being like the like young adult or like very old child of like a mother and you're living with your parents and you've ordered a
Mhm.
Steam Deck early and you live near Valve headquarters and like you go out with like you know you go out to like go on a ski trip or something and you come back like 2 days and you see this clip online that Gabe released some things and you see in the clips your mom accepting your Steam Deck for you while you were away and she doesn't even know who Gabe is. And you're just sitting there thinking to yourself, like, one, oh my God, mom, I can't believe you didn't know who that was. This is such a shame. And also, two, like, I can't believe I wasn't home. You know, you're
Yeah,
beating
couldn't
yourself up.
imagine. Oh my god.
Like if I was out and like Gabe Newell showed up to my front door with a Steam Deck in hand and I came back to find out that my mom took it for me, I'd be like, no, no, you didn't. No,
You should have
no,
given it back to him and tell
no.
him to come back when Joe gets here, for
Like I would have
Christ's
just been
sake.
like so upset. Like, I think
Mm.
there was notice. I think they like knew they were gonna get like delivery. I think the email just didn't mention that it was Gabe, but
Oh, yeah, well, of course.
because you know you're not just going to deliver something when somebody isn't ready, but like that's just like
Yeah.
it's always so funny. But yeah, Steam Deck
Mhm.
looks really interesting. I'm excited to see how those go. I have put my down like $5 down payment on one way back, so I should be getting my $400 model by the end of the year, and we'll see how it compares to the Switch and so on and so forth.
Very good.
And
I am not usually one to pre-order, but
well, it was only like $5.
Yeah, I know, but in general, I'm not usually one to pre-order. But
It's
I'm
yeah.
so upset that I missed the pre-order for the Haratora X, which is for those of you VR nerds out there who know what this thing is before it's been released.
Oh, is that one?
It
Is that a headset?
is it is not a headset, it's a full body tracking system.
Oh,
And
you told me about
it's the
this
one at
thing.
CES.
Yeah, you did.
It's got like the same tracking fidelity as the Valve Index with no base stations and no
Should
occlusion.
we show like a
Yeah, there's a graphic on the
yeah,
screen
we'll show
now.
like a graphic.
Yeah.
For audio only listeners, I also don't know what the graphic on screen is in telling you this. So, maybe
Okay.
it you could look it up. I'm sure if you're
Mhm,
interested. It's cool stuff though.
mhm,
Yeah, I haven't had that much time for VR recently, but
mhm.
it's always something else.
Yeah.
And yeah.
VRChat's getting an update too. I feel mixed about it
Mhm.
because on one hand, as someone who's looking to start creating avatars, and get into the technical whims and details of
Mhm.
VRChat, like, ooh, updates to the SDK that are going to allow very complex behavior.
Yeah.
This is cool. And on the other hand, this is like basically the update where the chat team says, we're not implementing face tracking, but you can. And,
Yeah.
so they basically added support for avatar functionality to be handled
Yeah.
outside of VRChat itself, which is also hopefully optimistic and up for the optimization standpoint that
Mhm.
maybe people can have their complex gestures and shaders not be processed on the
Also
server.
that Dominic and people like him can craft the metaverse with their own sheer will and dedication.
Yes,
Yeah,
very good.
honestly, since like what is the metaverse's platform called for the Quest? Do you know what I'm talking about? They're like VR chat, for lack of a better word.
Tech Room?
Horizon
Oh,
Worlds. Talking about that, I think.
oh,
I will
okay.
now consult Google. Horizon
I didn't even know that was a
Worlds.
thing. Um,
Yeah.
I thought
So
people just went on VR chat.
exactly. Your lack of
Okay.
understanding says a lot.
Okay.
Since like Horizon Worlds released, which is like one of the first stepping stones of Facebook now Meta's dream for Zuckerberg's fantasy metaverse to come truth. Um it's it's like so funny because they poured all this money into it and crashed Facebook stock just to create something that's already existed, you know, and like
Yeah.
I listen, we've had metaverses since like Hasbro
Mhm.
Hotel, okay? Don't at me. But like even
Yeah.
like since Horizon Worlds has released, I've come to respect things like VR chat and like Neos VR that much more
Yeah.
just because at least it's better than like something Meta came out with for whatever, like this
Well,
stuff
I mean,
already exists and has already existed for a while.
the
And
way I feel about it is this,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I think what Meta is trying to do is, they missed out on the smartphone craze. Like, fuck, we're gonna take VR. This is like our space, and we're gonna
Hmm.
conquer it before anyone else, and we're gonna put the most money in, and we're gonna make it happen because nobody's done this before, and
Hmm.
that's just like wrong. Because VR has been a very niche indie thing for a long time. The
Yeah.
small established community that's there knows what it wants,
Yeah.
and it's kind of dictating the larger flow of how people are going to get into what's popular, and the popular games are the thing that we've been doing for a while. So it's
Hmm.
not like when you are the first pioneers of a product and you can just dump a bunch of money into it and make something and everyone will like it because they've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
There's like standards and conventions and
Hmm.
expectations and being in touch that money cannot like buy understanding of.
Hmm.
And yes, I think that's why it totally fell flat. Also, just nobody likes Facebook, and a lot of the people using the
Yeah.
Quest use it very reluctantly, I think,
Yeah,
or
we
use
could
it and
bash
don't
on
know.
it. We could really bash on it for
Could
a while. We won't,
as
but
a Quest owner, I could bash on this thing forever,
yeah,
and then
really.
also
Like
it's a really good piece of hardware, but
mhm.
like I don't like that I had to sell my soul for it.
Yeah, it's really because they're selling it like it's new, and it's not. And better
Mhm,
like to me, one the way they're trying to change the world has already happened, and that was the smartphone craze and the like the digital
mhm,
age. And we have changed our societal norms to face that. And we've also learned since then that you don't require total and full immersion to do all of the societal overhauls that we need. Smartphones and computers and stuff like that are often enough for like 70 to 90% of like the best case scenarios for that stuff, for Zuckerberg's metaverse or whatever. But even the thing that they're trying to do now is like, they're trying to make something that's like, they currently have something that is VR chat but worse and bad, and also and like I think they're like, whatever Meta's equivalent of an Imagineer is, I think what they're seeking to create is like what Neos VR is, which is also better. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like if things were going the
that
way they
Neos
wanted, it would
Neos
be
is
nails.
probably on a technical end the most developed metaverse there is out there.
Yeah.
The only drawback of Neos is that it's small and the community is really small, and it's not. You lack the freedom of being able to like hop lobbies in VR chat when you just like can't find a conversation with someone you vibe with.
Yeah.
There aren't enough people on Neos to hop around like that.
Yeah. But anyway, so you know that's that meta bad meta joke.
Yeah. Coming up, actually, meta joke.
Yep. And with that, I think, is there anything else you wanted to touch upon in the world of Dom before we jump into intermission here?
Nope. I think I'm set.
I might have more, but it can carry over to the next half. Let's go to intermission.
Yeah. Very good.
Very good. Hello, Editor Joe here. Welcome to intermission. I have nothing to tell you today. That's right. So like the video, and I hope you're having fun. That's really it. Keep an ear out for what happens next. Hope you're having a great day. Yep. That's it. Okay, bye-bye now. Okay, nice intermission.
Excellent.
Okay, Dominic, what's our post-intermission activity? You're supposed to ask me that, actually.
What's our post-intermission activity, Joe?
I'm so glad you asked, Dominic.
I'm so glad I asked you.
We're gonna play a game.
We're gonna play a game. Okay, what's the game?
And I'm gonna cut it up and post the highlight reel in a moment.
Okay.
Audio only listeners, you're just going to be listening to some chaos. I'm sorry. That's how it's going to be. Now, Dominic, there are actually going to be two options for the game. Would you like me to tell you the options and then you pick, or would you like to flip a coin?
Tell me the options, and then I will perhaps decide whether or not I'll flip a coin.
The first option is, given our discussion today about our tendency to think about metas, we are going to play a game of Bed Wars, and I'm going to record it, and we are going to demonstrate at least two of our specific, like, silly metas that we've come up with in the game.
Bed Wars strategies, okay.
And number two is BTD 2 battles.
Oh my god. I can't believe I dragged my mother here, and you dragged your mother here to watch us play Minecraft, Joe. I'm not flipping a coin.
So which is it, Dominic?
It's Minecraft, Joe. I'm booting up the game.
Okay. Hello, viewers. This is me, and this is Hypixel, and this is Bed Wars, and this is Minecraft. I'm not going to explain anything. If you don't understand, you're just going to enjoy yourself.
Along for the ride.
You're along for the ride. Me and Dom might try to explain a little bit, but we're just going to queue into a game. One, maybe two. Maybe two or three. But
Joe, I find this astonishing. We have not played a game of Bed Wars, like doubles, in like a good year.
Yeah. Do you remember how to play Bed Wars, Dominic? We talked.
I could try.
We talked a big talk, but do you think we're going to play the video game good, Dominic? Okay. Okay.
I don't even remember how to play. I remember how to play
Okay, so here's the thing.
triples. What we
I
usually
will
do.
confess that Dominic is not used to doubles meta. He's used to triples and does not know any overarching gamer strategies.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess it's not that I don't know strategies. I'm just not used to what can be affordable at what points in the game because
Well, I'll tell you how doubles
gens
usually
are
goes.
weaker.
So Bed Wars is a game of survival. Okay.
Wits and psychological horror. You
Yes.
forgot the last two.
Yes, and psychological horror if you're Dominic Manicone.
Yeah.
So it's a simple Minecraft video game, mini game, where you fight everybody to the death on a series of floating islands, and and if you have a bed, you respawn, and if you don't have a bed, you don't, and you can break other people's beds. So if your bed exists, it's a defense game. And if you lose your bed, then it becomes how long can you survive?
Defense game is you don't want to die.
You don't want to die. It becomes a survival game.
Yeah, there's some inherent strategy to how you defend your bed.
Yeah, and there's also like currency and items and tactics, but that's the gist of what's going on. This is our bed. Dominic's protected it with some wool because it's all we can afford at the beginning. Dominic, I have some emeralds. If you want to do anything funny with them, you may.
I'm gonna save them.
Okay. Okay, good idea. Okay. I think you should start off by setting a grand example of. Oh, hold on.
Yes. Well, yeah. Hold on. All right, you do that. I'm
going to start by doing what is called nerd pulling, where I build straight up into the sky.
Okay. Very good. Oh, I missed.
That's okay. He's also dead. That was what we call a sacrifice.
Yes. That worked out.
That was what we call intentional video game playing.
Intentional video games.
I will now intimidate them. You see, they expect me to do something here, but I'm just going to sit here and stare at them until they make a fatal error.
Psychological horror video game.
Until they make a fatal error, like walking too close to the side of the edge, and then I hit them with this stick. They have endstone.
Oh yeah, they had endstone.
Yeah.
I'm just okay.
Oh, blue's gonna help us.
Oh, okay, good.
See,
this is not called cross teaming. This is called being a bystander to a crime.
Yes. You see, much like Risk, simply choosing not to help someone defend from something is a valid decision. We're not on each other's team. We're just joining forces for a common enemy. So we're gonna let them do all the dirty work, and then we're going to go
to their base.
Yes. Yes. Oh goodness, I'm going to fall. Actually, I've decided.
That's fine. You can defend the bed.
No, I'll help you.
Okay.
Oh.
That is not good. Gracious. All right, don't go around. Okay, maybe do go around. Fine.
Oh. Woo!
I'm telling you, this is a bad idea. Okay, you died. I'm on the run.
Dominic, no. Oh, he missed.
I saw that was past me.
Okay. Okay, come on, Dominic. You got it.
No, that wasn't happening.
All right. That was an example of how not to play Bed Wars. We will now demonstrate how to play Bed Wars.
Why don't we do like an actual strategy this time? Why don't we get some? Is it worth getting endstone in doubles? Because usually there's just like either people at the base to defend it, or like there isn't. Like, is it worth the cost?
Yeah, sometimes doubles is kind of rough strategically. I know that's not really what you wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Usually though, simply, okay, give me all your money. Give me all your money.
Okay.
Give me your money. Give me your money. Give me all your money.
Bankruptcy.
Give me all your money. Oh, okay.
Giving you my money.
Okay, thank you. So since we have a slow generator, that means that other teams also probably have a slow generator, which means that they're probably going to, which means that we can get the edge on them if we give all of our money to one person, and then that one person buys faster than the other team would have. Come behind the base.
Bed Wars is an RTS. Come behind the base.
No, yes. Oh dear. And then I fall into the void because I'm very good at video games.
Okay,
that was a strategic. That was a strategic void falling.
Okay. They actually didn't even leave their base yet. Oh, they were just about to put a wall on their bed. Okay,
I'm here.
I'm
here to help you.
I got clicked on very fast. I'm death actually.
Okay, we wait. Do we try to go for the finals here?
I'm going to get a knockback stick, and I'm going to lurk like a vulture outside of their base.
Okay,
and,
I'll do you want me to come with?
No.
You got
This
it?
is a solo stealth mission.
Okay. Okay, because Aqua's kind of looking at me the wrong way.
Okay.
Aqua's really looking at me the wrong way. Aqua's coming with TNT, Dominic. I'm very scared.
I'm unable to come back.
I'm nerd public.
I'm jumping off the edge.
I am playing video games.
Okay, that's good. I'm very glad.
I'm not playing video games. Actually.
I'm back at the base.
So when I make monkey sounds, that means that we're under attack. Oh.
That's bad news, Joe.
Okay. So
Okay.
strategy. Oh, I got diamonds from that though.
Okay. Very cool.
You want heal pool? I'll get heal pool and a gem. Great, yeah. So you see, strategy number 2. Don't just get your bed destroyed early, and then you don't have any sunk cost fallacy in protecting it. We can just spend all the money on ourselves. I'm here. I have an iron sword, by the way. He's also in the void.
Okay, that's good.
Pro tip: no amount of armor will save you from the void.
This is yes. This is the philosophy of Bed Wars.
I'm gonna go for another diamond.
Get 3 more iron. I want to get a bed bug.
Yep.
Pro tip: Bed Wars players are very straightforward minded.
Yes, they're all the same. They're very predictable.
The idea of one small little guy roaming around is usually enough to distract them. I don't know what this guy's doing. Come on, go.
Oh, we're the only 2 teams left.
Oh.
Oh.
I say we completely book it to the next diamond.
The other one's here.
Yeah, I say we book it, and then I have a fireball. We'll get them on the bridge.
Let me buy a fireball.
Okay.
Potion.
That's a potion. I'm leaving. Bye.
Goodbye.
I missed the jump. Oh my god. Yeah, an auto good game with a capital G and a capital G and a lowercase O and a lowercase aim.
No!
This guy says, you suck my mother.
I can't believe this. Well, that concludes our expert tutorial on how to win Bed Wars. Every time, all the time. Oh, you know what, too? I don't even think I was recording desktop audio. I don't think there was any game audio in that.
Oh, goodness gracious.
That's all right. Not a big deal. Maybe it came through.
Overlay cool and epic music.
Yeah, I will.
Or manually input the sound effects.
All right, okay. Well, thank you for playing Minecraft with us. I will cut that down to size. And we are back to JaDS. Hello, Dominic.
Hello.
This is the part of the episode where we talk about things, usually random things, sometimes user-submitted things. What are we going to be talking about now, Dominic?
I don't have any plans. Actually, wait, I did have plans. I wrote things down on a notepad.
What do they say?
Because, you know, we had the intermission bit, and then we had the bit after the intermission that isn't the intermission, but isn't the episode yet. And then we have this bit, and this is the bit where we also usually say, you know, hit the like button, hit the bell, like and subscribe, ring the subscribe button.
Okay.
And, you know, all that jazz. And it occurred to me sometime in between now and last episode, I think. Some people are rather annoyed by this. There's a small demographic of people.
Let's do this. Okay, there we go. I was
there's like I don't know what it is, but I'll tell you my experience and what I found is every now and then I'll find these videos, like usually tutorials actually, and they'll be very quick and concise. Or they just won't be quick and concise at all, but they won't include the bit about like and subscribe and ring the notification bell. And there would like be people cheering about it in the comments, like, look at this guy, Mr. Integrity over here, not asking people so pretentiously to like and subscribe. The greed of today's youth is unbearable. And I literally didn't know that existed.
You didn't?
I didn't. I will like not like. No, I don't think I really like was as conscious of it as I am now.
Because I feel like
we totally like it didn't surprise me, but it didn't. I don't think I've ever seen it after being someone who like says like the subscribe button, ring the bell, whatever. Like I had never like been part of the targeted demographic of people.
Okay.
And I was like. I was kind of I don't know where I'm going with this, but I found it odd because like when we do it, we're like totally messing around. But I don't know where I was going with
What
this.
do
This is
people
like, I think
have people told you that you need to say it less?
no one has ever told me,
Uh-huh.
but like in seeing it on YouTube videos, I found it kind of interesting. And I wrote in my notes meta-analysis of hit the like button. And
Oh,
I had expected to have more to say.
okay.
And this is
Yeah,
like the
no, it's
first time
always funny because like the bottom
flat on
line
a
is
JaDS topic.
I hate the feeling of being disingenuous, right? You know, I hate being like, oh, I'm now going, hello, friend, who I appreciate and respect. I'm now going to advertise you and prey on the fact that we have a interpersonal connection. But like, I don't know. It's like, I hate being disingenuous, but like, that's also part of it. You know, everybody's always selling themselves. And also on YouTube, the people that ask you to like and subscribe and show you the graphic of the percentage of viewers that are not subscribed get more viewers. And that's inarguable. And like, you just need to do it.
It's a psychology thing.
Yeah, I find I'm usually acceptant to like the happy compromise of like at least the guy's self-aware about it. You know, it's like, hey, you know, I don't want to have to do this, but this is the part of the video where I remind you to like and subscribe. And I don't know, I always appreciate. At least they said it's kind of like when a teacher is like self-aware and they're like, guys, I know that you don't like to do homework. I know that you're busy. You know, I'm gonna try and craft this in a way that's tolerable to you, but you have to do it. And this is the exam that you have to do. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of making it palatable. It's not about denying that it has to happen. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So what else? Were there any
I'm on the random topic generator.
Is it time for the random topic generator?
I didn't see any anything on the last episode, so I believe it is time for the random topic generator. Joe, this is funny because your mom is in the chat. Do you know what your name means?
Ah, you mean like when I Googled Joseph? Yes, my name isn't Joe. My name is Joseph.
I'm shocked.
What my name means.
What does your name mean, Joe?
I don't know. I mean, like at length, I'm not. There was a person listening who is more qualified to answer this question than I am. I didn't, but believe it or not, I did not choose. I did not select this name in the character creation screen. It was given to me.
Okay.
I believe it is biblical. I believe it has some significance vaguely relevant to that.
Okay.
And like also externally, the biblical figure is like loosely good in some way that is loose to my mind now.
Yeah.
To give you any better of an answer, I would need to look it up. Joe is a guy. Joe is me. I am Joe.
That's awesome. I wasn't going to go like that broad with what I know for my own name. More so just a fun fact about the way I was apparently named. And I think this was my father's choice, but apparently, and I only learned this very recently, the reason I was named Dominic was because there's a character in The Godfather named Dominic who they call Nucci. And apparently, my parents had intended on this nickname sticking to me, and it never did. And I never watched The Godfather either.
Okay.
So,
this is actually really funny. I have a lot to say about this.
I read it like a couple of like sometime over the pandemic, but that is a piece of trivia specific to my character that I did not know about until recently.
All right, Nucci. All right. Okay. So
Nucci. It's Nucci. Fuck's sake. You're gonna call me by my non-nickname. Do it right.
I don't remember. Very recently.
I don't remember when I was given my name.
I don't remember the context, but very recently there was somebody having a conversation about like why people are naming their children certain things. I don't remember the context, but somebody mentioned like, yeah, people these days are like putting a lot more care into their children's names based off of like what would have a cute nickname. Which was like it's like that's why Oliver or Olivia is popular because like apparently I don't know, it was something weird like that, and I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, because it brought me memories back to another fun fact about my name, not what it means, but why I was given the name is because apparently while my parents were deciding on names, they were like, I think it was. I'll give both of them credit for this event happening, but I remember my dad like explicitly being like, Yeah, we went through a lot of names that I shot down because I could very easily think of a an insulting nickname to give to the person with
Oh,
that name. It's like we're gonna name our son something, son or daughter something that they will not be bullied for, and
mhm,
um, he had examples too, which I found really
yeah.
funny. It's like I don't want you to be named um like
Do you remember any of the examples? Are
I'm
you gonna
gonna
start
generate.
calling out people?
I'm gonna
Calling people
generate an
out?
example because I don't remember the ones that were mentioned. But like for instance, I wouldn't name my daughter Natalie because then they'd call her Fatty Natty if she was overweight. And we can't have that, so she can't be named Natalie. And like
Mm,
Joe is like Joseph was one of the names of cosmic significance that meant something good, but also like
mhm.
would not be could not be easily made something negative due to like my
Yeah,
dad's imagination. And also my father's also named Joe, I should mention, which is
yeah,
completely irrelevant, sort of,
yeah.
mind you. Um, and that's the other thing too. Other
And then
Joe
Joe
lore,
Mama happened.
yeah, and
Then Joe
other
Mama
and other Joe lore. Apparently,
happened.
like the day that I was born, there was the name. If I was a boy, the name Joseph was already pre-decided. However,
Mhm.
the day that I came out of the womb, there were like five greater than five Joes in the room by coincidence.
You were a part of a crowd of
My
Joes.
dad was named Joe. Two of the doctors were named Joe. Like there was somebody else present that was named Joe, and and I just remember like the retelling of the comical moment where they're like, what's his name, and like my dad laughs and says it's Joe, and then everybody laughs, and it's like a sitcom laugh
That's
track
so
moment.
fucking funny.
So there's that too, and then that it's a grand story, and then that this is my life story. So
4 Joes entered that room and 5
what?
Joes came out.
Okay. Um. What is there anything else about name Dom that I should know?
No, that's about it. I didn't really ask too much about like I never asked
Oh.
about the whole process of what naming was about other than that you're gonna fucking crack up. I was supposed to be called Joe. This is extremely funny. My middle name is
We
Joe.
need more. Join
I
us.
know.
Yeah.
But my mother wanted me to be named Joe because there is a long-winded tradition in my mother's side of the family where everyone has a name that starts with a J,
Hmm.
and uh,
And they couldn't name you Jesus, so they were gonna name you Joe.
yes,
Yeah.
and so like I didn't ask otherwise. I was literally told that like, yeah, I think it was my dad who was like, yeah, well,
I'm
he'll
kind of
be named
glad it
Nucci. He'll be
wasn't
like the
because if
father
I met you
character.
and your name was Joe, when I met you, I was young enough where if I met somebody that had my name, I would have questioned things. You know what I mean? Like there can't be more. I'm Joe. You're not Joe. What do you mean?
I'm going through that crisis right now where I've met another Dominic at college, and this is significant because not only is Dominic a rare name,
Hmm.
but there are 3 versions of Dominics. There are 3 factions.
Right.
There is Dominic with a C, there's Dominic with a K,
Hmm.
and there's Dominic with a CK.
Hmm.
And I've never once in my life met another Dominic with a CK until now.
Oh.
And we've both like attest to each other at like we took a test yesterday actually
Oh, the Dominic
in my
test.
adolescent
Right.
the Dominic test,
Yeah.
and we both attested that this was the first time that either of us in our entire academic careers have ever had to write our last name to specify which Dominic we are.
Damn.
That has never happened before.
Man, that's hysterical. It's kind of like
Yeah.
when you meet somebody that has your name, it's like who, social theory. You tell me
Yeah.
whoever one of you will be called something that is not Dom, and the other one will still be called Dom. And whoever retains the
Mhm.
name Dominic in the presence of the other one is the more dominant Dominic. Also, real quick,
Mhm.
info dump from my mother on the things that I was too I didn't remember. So
Mhm.
for the ask me the question again. What does Joe mean? What does
What
Joseph
does Joe
mean?
mean? What does Joseph mean?
So the literal significance, like part A, the question that I failed to answer, was Joseph translates to the Lord will increase. So that's my fault. And my middle name means the Lord is my God. Okay, that is the literal something something. Okay.
You have a very biblical name.
Yes, that's what I was trying to explain. I just could not back that up. And two, this is the example I was trying to think of and could not. So, fun fact: if I was a girl, Elizabeth was like on the slater for what my name would be. I'd be Elizabeth. If your name is Elizabeth, I've met several girls in my life who were like had like a middle name Elizabeth or something, and then they always say that, and then I'm always like, oh, I would have been named Elizabeth if I was a girl. And then they always look at me with that weird look like, what do you mean? Why do you know that? It's like, that's not a fun enough fact to tell me. I don't believe you. I always get that look.
Yeah.
So, quote, if you were a girl, we wanted to name you Elizabeth, and your father was afraid you would be called Ellie, and the nickname might be Big Belly Ellie. That was...
So don't give the people ideas.
So thank God I am male because I am Joe and I'm not Big Belly Ellie. Yeah, it's always funny though. I always like when talking about names. I like Joe. I like Joseph as a name just because I feel like it's a very nicknameable name. You know, like, am I a Joe? Is he a JoJo? Because believe it or not, there are people called JoJo that aren't from the Bizarre Adventure.
That don't have gigantic muscles and a star tattoo on their back.
Yeah. I have a family friend who's also named Joe. And when I was growing up, I called him Jojo.
So do I.
I called him Jojo because I was Joe. Well, I was Joseph and he was Jojo because when we were present, we couldn't both be Joe. And we weren't old enough for one of us to be dominant and take the name. So that's but yeah, you know, I was little Joseph. He was Jojo, but there's so more. Listen, I'm not a Joey. Do not call me Joey. I will not respond. There are a few people on this earth who can wield the name Joey when talking to me. And the criteria for this is enigmatic, and I will not even attempt to explain it. If you're not already sure, you're not one of the people that can call me Joey. Don't try. And then there's like...
start calling you Giuseppe, actually.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Here's the other thing, too. Italian version is Giuseppe, right?
Yeah.
People ask me where my gamer tag comes from. I go by Joe online nowadays just because I try to flex the fact that my online persona and my normal one are both named Joe. It's just a thing. But before that, my gamer tag was and still is on Steam, Zeppy G, which is actually a shortened version for something that once was like Zeppy Gold 123, which like by lore law came from my very first online account, which was made for me, which was my Webkins account, which had the username Zeppy Gold 123 and the password I love fish in all lowercase. And you cannot try to break into my Webkins account because that service is no longer existent, and my website, my Webkins account no longer exists. So go ahead, steal my monkey, whatever. But that, believe it or not, that was because when I was really little, my parents called me. Well, they called me Baby Joseph a lot, but they also called me they called me like Zepperdoodle.
Zepperdoodle,
which is like the affectionate version of Zeppy, which is the affectionate version of Giuseppe.
Holy shit!
So believe it or not, because my mom's 100% Italian, I'm half Italian. So my parents were like, "Oh, it's Giuseppe, hello Zeppy, hello Zepperdoodle," and then my parents stopped calling me that because they were afraid I wouldn't know what my real name was. But this is why that is directly why my account is Zeppy G. The G is for gold because it is one of my favorite colors, still is, I guess. And the Zeppy is because my name is Joe. And if that's not obvious to you, then I will explain the entire lore to you.
So, I was also corrected on the coming forth of my name.
Yeah.
The nickname was Nikki, not Nucci. I don't know where Nucci came from.
Okay, Nietzsche. Okay,
Nietzsche. Nikki. My mother called me Nucci.
Okay.
So I don't know my mother said she doesn't know about the Godfather bit. I don't know about the Godfather bit because I haven't seen the Godfather. I've only seen the Godfather once, half asleep, and the only thing I remember about The Godfather is that whenever people watch The Godfather, at least in my family, and I think this might just be a thing that maybe American Italians do, where they watch The Godfather and stand around the television like in a hovering circle and then recite all the lines of the script exactly like 10 seconds in advance. And like, this is a phenomenon that like I haven't even thought to think is abnormal, but it's so incredibly like commonplace whenever there's a movie on the television, like nobody sits down
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's like an actor suddenly. It's quite funny.
That's very funny.
Apparently actually there was a showing of the like some sort of 50th anniversary showing of The Godfather at the local movie theater. My
Mm-hmm.
parents went and my dad was very disappointed to see that nobody else was talking. And like um but yeah, my mother apparently agreed to the name Dominic because she liked the name Nikki. Mom, I'm sorry that I do not go by Nikki.
Okay, Nikki. Well,
What have I done?
Nikki, I'll be honest. I
Okay.
think we're out of time, actually.
Actually, that one prompt.
Yeah, we could we could try one more, and I'll see how many minutes Bed Wars takes, and if it's too many minutes,
Okay.
we'll cut this entire second prompt out. But we'll fit in one more, and then we'll call it quits.
Okay.
We'll call it quits.
Okay. This might be interesting.
Okay.
What animal or insect do you wish humans could eradicate? Strong opinions only.
Is human an answer to the question?
Human is not an insect
Okay.
or animal.
Okay. That we could eradicate?
Oh, never mind. There was actually a suggested topic. Joe, tell me about sporks.
Right.
We could try and fit in both if they're short, because we could go on for a long time about names.
Okay. First of all, koalas. They're not cute, they're vicious, and they don't deserve to be alive. 2, we'll cut this out. I gotta get a prop. Excuse me. Sorry about that. We'll cut it out. I'll cut you out. It's really weird to hear your voice coming out of my living room.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Whew. Okay, so sporks. 1. This is a titanium spork. I'll hold it up to the camera. It is blue. It is a Snoke Peak spork, apparently.
I didn't know you were so passionate about sports.
It has a little bit of wear and tear on it, as you can see, but this was what I ate every meal with on my high adventure hike 2 weeks in the New Mexican mountains in Philmont Scout Ranch a couple of years ago. I brought this as my collective utensil kit everywhere I went for those 2 weeks. I insisted on getting a titanium one because I wanted a spork that was made out of titanium. And was it worth it? Yes. I only had to carry one utensil around with me. It is super light, yet super sturdy. And it is a titanium spork that is mine. And that is why I like it. I had to fish this out of the attic, out of my backpack for backpacking trips, because that's where it was. Spork.
Joe, I'm astonished. I have no clue. I don't know how to feel.
9 out of 10. No gimmicks, but absolutely reliable. And I'd recommend. I feel like I could throw this into a volcano and eat some lava with it because it'd hold up that well. Example number 2. This is not a spork. This is a fork. But
I was looking for mine.
It is an extendo fork used to eat at extreme lengths. Okay.
Have you gotten any mileage out of your telescopic fork?
Not yet.
Okay, me neither.
Not yet.
The next time we eat together,
we will.
That is actually
yes.
We will.
They are great for hiking as well. Excuse me. They're great for those little self-cooking meal bags because you can just go like that and not have to touch your hand to the hot stuff. They are great for comically stealing food from the people that you eat with by merely reaching across the table. Now, mastering the telescopic fork is another story, but these are wonderful gag gifts that I got to add as emergency gifts to my present pool for the holidays. I gave out some, and I kept this one for myself because I thought it was hysterical. Now, there are telescopic spoons and telescopic sporks. I would recommend one of those as well. 7 out of 10. It's really funny and can be used non-telescopically. Not great for hiking, in the sense that it adds slightly more weight due to the extra layers. And this one is not a spork, but it is very funny. I would still recommend.
I don't have any commentary that can measure up to that. I'm gonna be dead honest with you.
And that concludes the segment about sporks. Thank you.
I will say one thing about my telescopic fork, or my fork. Sorry in advance, mother, but remember how I mentioned at the start of the episode, very cool cross reference to the start of the episode, how I was struggling to get physics to cooperate properly with two-handed weapons in VR because due to like the way that you know a pole is and the way a grip controller is, you can't have a loose grip on it. Remember that bit?
Yep.
So when I was first trying to figure out if it was actually just the Oculus Touch controllers, I was like, okay, let me just see if I'm crazy. And I pulled out my telescopic fork, which was in my room, which is why I've been looking around trying to find where I left it. And I do not know where it is. But so I pulled out my telescopic fork and I was like, okay, let me like try and see if I can like do it. And I was able to do it very naturally, and that's how I concluded it was with a controller. So like I tried taking a swing, and I remembered how low my ceiling is, and the fork was actually sturdy enough that I actually scratched my ceiling with it.
Great.
It's like a cut somewhere in the ceiling. I don't know. It's very insignificant.
I really love the hypothetical of your mother walking into your room and there's you with a VR headset on holding a telescopic fork and hitting the ceiling with it.
Well, I wasn't.
Dominic,
I didn't have the headset on.
Whoa! And you like, you know. Sorry, you caught me in a bit of a strange situation.
Caught in Vom Tag.
So do you have a preferred animal for genocide?
If I had to eradicate an animal off of the face of the earth, I'm sure that there are some, ecologists who are going to scream at me at this for, imbalance that this might potentially cause. But mosquitoes, fuck mosquitoes. Okay.
Well, they are kind of a hazard to humanity, aren't they?
Yeah, they mosquitoes suck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they do.
Yes, this is the joke. American mosquitoes are pretty tame, but I know someone who lives in the Philippines who got like hit by a mosquito that carries a virus with the name I do not know of, and he said that if he gets stung by another mosquito again, that's it, death. I was like, oh my god, really? Yeah. Fuck.
Well, I didn't realize you were so mosquitist, but you know.
It's a long story, but did I tell that episode?
You'll have to save it for next episode because we are out of time.
We are out of time.
Oh god, what I was gonna say? I had something to say about mosquitoes. No, about extinction. I know that I said koalas, and I'm gonna stand by that. Oh, a lot of people might say cockroaches. Because, we don't like cockroaches. However, cockroaches make good feeders for certain species of reptiles. And as an aspiring future reptile owner, I may need to own cockroaches one day as feeder food. Because there are breeds of cockroaches that are unable to fly, unable to move easily, and they're used as feeders.
Mhm.
And they are a staple of the reptile industry, and I like lizards, so I will not be
Very good.
advocating for the extinction of
On the
cockroaches.
contrary, the ancient Dom of years bygone past actually answered this question and elected to eradicate the dinosaurs and did so successfully. Perhaps he thought they were annoying or something.
And that, for real, concludes this episode of JaDS. If you're listening live, you're not. If you're listening on the recording on
You
YouTube
are.
or Spotify, thank you. I appreciate it. Dominic, do you appreciate it?